Hi, I'm Tom Lippincott, and welcome to the Diminished Scale, a Modern Jazz Guitar Approach, Part 1. In this first installment, we're going to cover the basics of the scale, how it's constructed, some exercises for gaining fluency with it, and most importantly probably would be exactly how and when and why to use the scale. Now if we take our F, fully diminished 7th chord that we started with on one string, what I'm going to do is simply add a half-step leading tone below each one of the chord tones. So the regular diminished scale, let's say, and then the auxiliary diminished, or the whole half and the half whole. There's really only those two. And again, in example 14, I've written the G, B flat, D flat, and E half whole diminished scales, and you'll see again that those four scales all contain the same notes. If you've ever been to, a house of mirrors where you go into this maze and it's just nothing but mirrors around you and you see reflections of yourself everywhere, and it's really easy to get lost because everything looks the same and you forget, did I make a left here, did I make a right? Well, that's how the diminished scale can get, especially if you're just relying on fingerboard shapes. So if you commit those those 3 sets of 4 to memory, that can really help get a foothold in that house of mirrors and kind of give you your way to get through the maze. So this, in its pure form, is actually the way that most diminished sounds work in the standard jazz repertoire. What we want to do is to practice anything that we're learning in as many different combinations and patterns as possible, so that we get under our fingers interesting ways of combining the notes from a particular sound. Example 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we're going to talk about actually utilizing this stuff in a chord progression. These are some real-world examples of how I would use this material improvising on standards. Example 55, I take that reharmonized chord progression and I'm giving an example of a blues head that I wrote years and years ago using those sort of reharmonized diminished scale sounds on a C blues.